calculator questions is what we're going to look at in this video. It's split into 6 parts. So we're going to start off by looking at questions with powers. We're then going to move on to looking at questions with roots, and then pi, and then trigonometric functions, and then fractions, and then finally looking at everything combined. So we've got trigonometric functions, we've got powers, we've got a root, we've got a fraction. So the way my videos work, I'm going to do the example on the left, which is I do. You are then going to press pause, and I've got the example on the right, which is you do. So if I just bring in my calculator, so with this first question, it is 11 to the power of 4, so I'm going to type 11, and then I'll press this button up here, x, and then that's going to be to the power of 4, and hit equals, and that is going to give me that. So make sure you have got your calculator with you when you do this question. So if I just move that to the left, now here's an example for you to try. So hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go, and the way you would do that is like this, and you would get an answer of 2187. So moving on, if I come back here, so now we have a fraction in the power. So the exact same thing again, 625. Now I'm going to press the power button. Now I'm going to press the fraction button, and I'm going to type 1 at the top and 4 at the bottom. So it just has to look exactly as the question was, and my answer here is 5. So if I move that over, again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. So 7776 to the power of, and then press the fraction button, and then 2 over 5. And the answer here is 36. So here are some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers, mark your work. Now moving on, we are looking at roots. So if I bring my calculator back, now to get this root, we are going to first press shift, which is the button on the top left, and then we are going to press this button here, and that gives us that, okay? So you have to press shift first. We type the 4 there and the 81 there, and that gives us an answer of 3. So again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had to go at the example on the right. So we're going to press shift, and then we're going to press this button here, and that gives us the 5, and then the 39 in there, and then that gives us, so it does say write down all the digits displayed on your calculator, so we are going to do exactly that. So here are some practice questions you need to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers, mark your work. Moving on, we are now looking at pi. So with this one, we are going to do 5 and then pi. Now to get pi, you're going to press shift, and then you're going to press this button down here. So that is 5 pi. Now if you press equal, you'll notice it says 5 pi again. You need to press this SD button, which is above the delete button, and that will give you the answer. Okay, so that is 15.70796,327. And again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this one here. So that is 1.5, and then shift, and then this button down here to get you pi. If I do that again, shift, and this button here. And that is, now press the SD button to convert that to a decimal. So we are now looking at trigonometric functions. So we have sine 43. So I'm going to press the sine button. I'm going to type in 43, and you can close the bracket as well. And that gives us an answer of 0.6819983,601. And again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. So that is just going to be cos of 50, and that gives me 0.6427876,097. Moving on, now we have the inverse of sine. Okay, so it's not this symbol, it's not this one, it's the inverse. Now to get the inverse, you press shift, and then you press the sine button. Okay, now you notice it's got the -1 on there, and then 0.6 there, and the answer is 36.8698975. And then again, on this side, it's not the cos button. You're first going to press shift, and then the cos button, and then it's 0.55 in there. And that gives us an answer of 56.63298,703. And then moving on, here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers. So we're now looking at fractions. So the first thing I'm going to do is press the fraction button. If I just press that again. So once you press the fraction button, you're going to type in 9.8 plus 6.8. And we are going to divide that by 4.2 times 2.1. And SD to convert that, so that is going to be 1.882086,168. And if I now clear that, and go to this side. Again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. So press the fraction button and then use the brackets. We must use the brackets here because the question has brackets. And that gives us 7.518604651. So here's some practice questions for you to have a go at. Press pause and have a go. Here are the answers, mark your work. Now we are looking at harder fractions, but the exact same thing again. We are going to start off by pressing the square root button first. Okay, so I'm going to press the square root button there. Then I'm going to press the fraction button. And then I'll type in 2.5 and then 7.1. And then the SD button. 291. And if I move that to the other side, again, hopefully you've pressed pause and had a go at this. The first thing you do is press the square root button, then the fraction button, 24.16 plus 1.794. Divide that by 16.2 minus 12.1. Oh, I forgot the 0.2 in there, so let me just go back and add that in. 16.2 and 12.1. And the answer then is 2.515997.596. So moving on, this is just again another example on the same stuff. So 2.5 times sine 43 and divide that by 8.2 squared minus 50.5. And that gives me an answer of 0.3191419855. And again, hopefully press pause and had a go at this. It might look a bit trickier, but we start off with a fraction. We only have the square root at the top, okay? So we do not start off with a square root and then a fraction because the square root is only at the top. So start with a fraction, add the square root, and in fact, it's not even a square root, it's a cube root. So we're going to press shift and that button there. That gives us cube root and then 1.57 to the power of 4. Plus tan 60, and we're going to divide that by 7.2 to the power of a half, so we can just use the fraction 1 over 2, and there's your answer, 0.7393379.403. And here's some practice questions you have a go at. Here are the answers. And if you did find this useful, I've got loads of other content like this over on my YouTube channel. And if you would like a worksheet, I've linked it down in the comments below. Thanks.